All right, my friends, I hope that you can get the transmission tonight. I put it on my podcast. I'm out on my little runabout. Tell me if you can hear me. Otherwise, I'll turn off again because I want to talk about the birds and how the birds are the higher animals and what we see going on in the cities are the lower animals. Do I have to say any more? You know why I come out here? To observe the higher animals. I see the young pelicans learning how to fly and how to hunt their breakfast. And I see the animals in the city looting, beating up vendors in Washington Square Park in the name of pride. Did you see what happened in New York under this communist degenerate de Blasio? Have you seen what the liberals have done to New York City? A so-called pride parade. I'll never understand what that's about, by the way. Come up to a vendor who has an American flag on his car, a poor immigrant, and they say, take down your flag and put up our flag. He refused to. They beat him up. They beat him up. They stole his food, all in the name of pride. You want to see pride? Watch the pelican. There's pride. I'm proud of America. I'm proud of nature. I'm proud of God. That's about the extent of it. See the birds, and they're learning to fish. Their parents teach them that if you don't fish, you starve to death. You don't loot, you don't burn, you don't steal. See them? That's a lesson, boys and girls. Here's my friends. They're coming to look at me. I'm telling you, they know what I'm saying. I very much feel in touch with nature. They actually flew over me and said hello. I have a tremendous attachment to birds. As you know, I've been feeding seagulls for many years. I've gotten to watch them fly. I watch them as their hatchlings learning to caterwaul in a reverse dive for a piece of bread. And I've come to understand that some of our greatest pilots, those would be the naval aviators, probably studied birds. I don't know if they teach that in naval aviation school, but I do know that the way they flare their feathers and drop their legs, it's very akin to what goes on in an airplane as it's landing. So I come out here and I watch the birds, and there's more pelicans than I've ever seen in all the years of watching the baby. Here comes another baby. See it? They don't belong to me, they belong to the world. They're God's creatures. See? Look at him. Look at her. Look at that. The mother bird taught them. These are very young birds, by the way. They've all been taught how to fly and how to hunt and fish, rather. They didn't go into Burger King and shoot someone because the sauce wasn't on the hamburger. I come out here to retain sanity. I don't know what I would do if it wasn't for nature and my study of nature and my love of nature. I've been a naturalist since I'm a young man. I've always loved observing the higher animals. And the older I get, the more I detest the lower animals. The street predators in New York, the bums, I have nothing but hatred for them. Don't get me started. $60,000 a year for a tent for a degenerate bum drug addict in San Francisco. And you know, look, there's a fortune being made on the bums and the illegal aliens. Don't get me wrong. I'm not naive. I wasn't born yesterday. I know who's behind it. All the liberals who scream about compassion for the homeless are making fortunes off the homeless. They're charging the city meaning the taxpayers $60,000 for a tent per year. They get full security, meals, whatever for these bums, these degenerates to live in tents. They don't hunt. They don't fish. They just use drugs. They're the parasites of society. So why do we tolerate them? Because the criminals called politicians are dipping their beaks into the so-called homeless world, providing services, along with the charities, you know, Catholic charities, Jewish charities, Protestant charities. You know what I'm saying. They're all rackets. One last word about rackets. There's a show I like on Netflix. I've watched a number of times called Sabur, The Blood of Rome. And it's about criminal organizations in Rome working with the Vatican to rob the treasury blind. And in one telling scene, a so-called countess, who's a liberal, says that each so-called refugee from Africa coming into Italy is worth, whatever the number is, 100,000 euros each a year. She said it's a better business than drugs these days. I guess that's all I have to say. If you really think that those who cry the loudest about the homeless and about the illegals really care about them, you're more naive than you could ever believe you are, and you have no compassion. You're just stupid. So I'm going to sign off right now, and I think I'll leave this one up on Twitter. Here comes my baby. Look, see? Look at her flaring her feathers. He didn't say hello, did he? Did that bird say hello to me? Did that bird say hello to me? There she goes. Maybe she was warning me away from her catch. I don't know. But I don't know. I like to believe they can communicate with us because I communicate with them and I'm part of them. Remember I taught you we are the eagle? All of you lunk-headed morons. I mean, what do I care about polluting the environment? What do I care about cracked eagle eggs? You schmucks, you idiots. You'd kill everything on earth if it wasn't for the sensitive people who understand animals. Lands, waters, and places. Aristotle wrote an essay called Airs, Waters, and Places, thousands of years ago in ancient Greece. And he described airs, waters, and places. That's what we still live with, airs, waters, and places. Everyone seems to understand we are the eagle, except the idiots who would pave over the wetlands, shoot the birds out of the sky until there are no birds left, and harvest everything on earth until there's nothing left to harvest. So as I say, watch the lower forms of life. They're the secret to survival. And try to imagine what the world will become unless the lowest forms of humanity are not stopped very, very soon. Have a nice day, because I'm enjoying mine.